Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stand Up Speakeasy. I'm your host, Sareth Ney. In every episode, I bring a comic that's from coast to coast, and there's like 100 episodes of these things from coast to coast. It's bonkers. Even in Poland, it's nuts. So, without further ado, my friend, we met a while back. I interviewed Chelsea on about her music, and now we're going to do music and comedy. So, without further ado, welcome Chelsea Sadler, everyone. Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being my guest today.
Yeah, it's so good to see you again. I feel like I probably haven't seen you in years.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been years for sure. And I'm so glad you're still at it and doing all the great things that you are doing for your scene. So can't wait to
Yeah.
see you again. Awesome. So you graced the stages in one way or another, in one setting or another, for over 20 years. So what uh talk about your music and your stand up and all everything that you've done on stage.
Well, I was actually a stand up comedian before I was a musician. Not a lot of people know this, but in like fifth grade, I did a whole stand up comedy routine for the fifth grade talent show. And, just told jokes that I grabbed like from books and off the internet. It wasn't very, you know, formally prepared. Like I didn't write any jokes, I just told some jokes. And so long before I ever thought about being a musician, that's where I was. And then a few years later is when I began to take music lessons in middle school and kind of branched off and started making music, kind of my full time creative passion. I would say within the last like 6 to 8 years, I've been pursuing comedy more seriously, and it's proved itself to be a tough gig. It's a tough medium to work in. Asking people to have a physical reaction to something that you say is not an easy thing to do. That's for sure.
Big time. I feel you on that one. I like we have similar paths because like when I was in middle school, I well in fifth grade it started off with like in Living Color and like the Dirty Dozens and like Jamie Foxx was battling Eddie O'Neill and talking about their moms back and forth, and then that's where I was like, all right, I'm going to talk about people's moms with these real mama jokes out of these books. And then people, I would memorize them, and people would gather around the lunch table, and I would battle two people at once. But it was, and then I found comedy too, like later on, and I found music. I was in choir class in middle school, and I was like, I just wanted to get out of regular school. I need something to get me out of regular classes. So
Yeah.
I
That's
was such a bad student. Awesome. And so, let's see here. So, you and Lauren Gilliam have a musical duo called Bad Dog Mama, and Lauren's done stand up as well. And uh, so I love how musicians work in like banter, and comedians like use jokes in between each set to lighten up the mood and keep the energy going. So, what made you incorporate material in between your sets?
I think it was just kind of natural. I've always been a little bit of a clown on stage. Yeah, I can obviously be very serious and do my best to inspire people. But I found that connecting, in a comedic sense with the audience was, a little more easy than trying to connect with them through something that was like, very serious and emotionally deep. And I think that I'm a goofball and Lauren Gilliam is a big goofball too. And when you put us on stage together side by side, we just have a really great like rat a tat back and forth. And it's funny because I think a lot of stand up comedians want to be musicians and a lot of musicians want to be stand up comedians, like grass is always greener kind of scenario. And I remember being in New York and watching, the legendary stand-up comedians and like the legendary stand-up comic spots. And one guy, I think his name is Jeff Arcuri, was like, "Oh yeah, musicians, you guys tell jokes in between songs and stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't do that." He's like, "In between my jokes, do I say, yeah, now I'm gonna play a song?" So that was a little disheartening, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? People love our banter. Like the locals and the regulars that come to see us really love that we kind of make fun of ourselves, make fun of each other, make fun of the audience. make fun of life. It's just a good time, and I think that it's nice to mix those mediums, those two like creative outlets together. I think that they can really complement each other.
Absolutely. And I need to come see you both as Bad Dog Mama and see for myself because like St. Augustine is like so many tourists and I'm like this is drives me crazy. So, indeed. Man, so Chelsea's is having technical issues, but don't worry, folks. We'll I'll have her come back in and while we're waiting, all her social media info and all her website and stuff is in the description box below. So be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and all that stuff to mine and hers if you like. If you're enjoying this episode so far, and shout out to the two people that are in the audience too. So um, feel free to interact in the chat. And if you'd like Eleanor, it says big love to Chelsea. Um, so glad you posted this interview coming on. Greetings from Tennessee. So shout out to Eleanor. That's pretty awesome. I just found out you can do this. So we're going to keep doing this with your comments as the interview comes along. So feel free to interact in the chat. We'll only put the nice ones up. So be nice to us. So good stuff. So yeah, I'm helping Chelsea sell out her show coming up at Waterworks. It's a comedy show competition featuring comedians from all over Florida. So definitely, if you can, go to the website below and buy your tickets for tomorrow and help her sell it out. There's only like less than 20 tickets left. So buy some for yourself, buy some as gifts. Just buy them and sell it out. That'd be awesome of you. So, welcome back, Chelsea. How are you?
Sorry about that.
All is good, pal. I was just plugging your show so people can buy tickets for it while
Oh,
you're off air.
cool. Out there in the
Yeah,
east, trying to get reconnected. Yeah.
yeah. So Eleanor is on the screen. I'll show you her comment. It says big love, Chelsea. So glad you posted this interview coming on. Greetings from Tennessee. So good stuff. You got a fan out there.
Oh, Ellie, nice,
Yeah.
cool.
Awesome, fantastic. And so let's see. So I got to go come see in St. Augustine with you and Lauren because I try to avoid tourist season. I don't know when it is okay to go out there again because traffic is just nuts, and so parking is a pain too. So I think Chelsea froze up on me too. So it's all right. We'll continue with uh I'll see if she can use Wi-Fi because I think she's just using. Oh, there you are. I can, but yep.
Or maybe you're freezing in and out. Looks like. Oh, okay. Yeah, the timer's going, but the audio is real.
Oh, I
The
feel
audio
you.
and video. Well, I
It's like
think
one
we
of those
might be
kung
back.
fu flicks. It's like our mouth doesn't match our lips or something like that. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's the problem.
Everyone was
Right
kung.
now. I mean, I love stuff like this, but then when it starts to go downhill, it's like, well, you just have to kind of, it's like when your car won't start. You're like, I don't know what's wrong with it, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Someone will figure it out.
Yep, we just power through it like champs. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's keep
So
going.
indeed. So you've been a comedian for almost 8 years now, since 2016. And so you honed your comedic skills at Boca Bar in St. Augustine, Florida. And I know it's not there anymore, and know that Art Box is there now. I love
Yeah,
Laura; she's amazing. And so,
yeah.
and the whole the board of directors there. What was the experience like at Boca Bar for you?
Boca Bar was really neat. It was kind of like a really safe and soft place for a lot of creatives to land, whether your creative outlet was music, visual art, photography, comedy, poetry. They did all kinds of different types of events there, and I attended a lot of them, whether they were poetry or comedy, or even I think they even did like some one act plays there at some point. And it's not there anymore. But being there, it felt very homey. A lot of people that I knew, a lot of locals in St. Augustine would frequent that place, and we just kind of, it was very familial in a way. It was kind of like a little Boca Bar family, and you'd see the same people kind of in and out. And then I don't know if you know Jenna Laughlin.
Yeah.
She started the open mic there, and I think that was around like late 2016, or maybe even earlier than that. I don't know. You'd have to ask her. But she is the one who, I mean, it kind of like ignited this whole comedic movement in St. Augustine. She was the one that really started it and didn't really understand why there wasn't something like that already in St. Augustine. And, you know, there had been in the past, like with Jackie Knight's, show over on the island, but something downtown. I think she really wanted to, break into that market of, the college campus being downtown, a lot of locals living downtown in Lincolnville. And she did it, man. She had a great turnout and it was very successful. It was a beautiful event. And that's really where I learned kind of what stand-up comedy even was. It was a place where I had to bomb, repeatedly, as we all do, in order to understand, what works and what doesn't work. And it was a really cool experience for me, just watching the process of not only myself, become better and better at stand-up comedy, but watching my peers around me begin to really write some very creative material that just kind of knocked me on my ass sometimes. It was like, whoa, like this is outstanding. Like, and sometimes I would just like look over at Jen and she'd be watching someone do stand up and I'm like, man, she built this whole thing. This is so cool.
Auntie Genster is pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, and she's doing another open mic now at Sarbez, on, let's see, every Wednesday except the third Wednesday at Sarbez. She's out there. It starts at 9 p.m. It's a great venue. It's a great place. They've got great food. As you know, they're famous for their gourmet grilled cheeses. And Jen just does a great job. It's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. I love their grilled cheese. There's like
Yeah.
nothing like it. It's
Yeah.
just awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Ryan out there. He's pretty rad.
Yeah. Shout out, Ryan. Ryan
Yeah.
Comes. Yeah.
Indeed. But yeah, and then I remember like when Nick and Stefano and Aaron and Courtney Olson helped carry the torch too, and picked it back up after Jen passed it over the torch too, and just for a little while. And I think I was on tour for the Dirty Son of a Peach tour. I did like 14 performances and 10 dates, and Boca was one of my stops. And
Cool.
like there was like hardly anyone on the list, so like Aaron, Courtney, and Nick were like, "Go as long as you want," and I ended up doing like 20 minutes, and they were just dying laughing. It was so fun.
Oh,
Yep, I interviewed Nick, I think, for my stand up special slash documentary, and he goes, "That's like the one of the memories that stuck out to him the most was like me coming on tour and doing like that time and doing some stand up for him." So it was only all three of them were the only audience members in the crowd for me, so we made the
aw.
most of it. So it's great.
Well, how is Nick? I haven't like seen him or heard about him or anything. What's he up to?
Oh, he moved all the way to New York to pursue stand up.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that. That's
Indeed, he
beautiful.
used to live in Daytona too for a little while. Did a stint there, and then he was like, "All right, I'm moving." I'm like, "Okay." So yeah,
Yeah, kind of where you have to go seems like either LA, Nashville, New York City, or like and Austin. Austin's another hub. But you really, I mean, if you want to get into the ears of as many people as possible, that's kind of where you have to be, with stand up. And it's it's hard to live in a place that's so far away from home. I think for me, I'm like, oh, I would love to, but it's so different. New York's so different than St. Augustine.
big time. It's just so fast paced. Like I've done stand up in like a lot of the big cities, and like my favorite big city is Chicago. Like hands down, it's like my favorite.
Cool. Oh, that's
Yeah,
good to know.
it's like it's so easy to get around, and all the public transit they have it on point. It's just awesome.
Oh, cool. That's really
and the
good to.
food's amazing too.
Oh, I bet. Man, yeah, I bet.
Indeed. Awesome. So you performed in stand up the past 8 years all over the southeast. And speaking of big cities, like what are some of your favorite cities you've performed in?
Oh, well, what was really cool, I think the most memorable for me was I was actually like on vacation in Asheville, North Carolina, of all places. And they have a great resource set up. It's a website that has all of the music events, comedy events, open mics, like anything you could possibly think of that's like entertainment. They have it listed all on one website and you can find it. So I was looking for an open mic just to kind of see, what was around. And we went to actual showcases too while we were up there. But I was interested to see just kind of like where people were as far as the open micers compared to like St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Daytona. And it was so fun. And I think a relatively, everyone's just kind of like at the same level. Everyone's, pretty good and learning a lot like day to day. And I wasn't planning on getting up there, but I went up there and it was just a great set. And it was so good that people are like, "Oh, where can we find you again? Like, where can we see you again?" And I was like, "I don't really know." But thanks for listening. It was just such a really great response. And to go to a city where no one, like you don't have any allies in the crowd, like you don't have any friends, to kind of boost your ego and inflate your head. It was a great response from complete and total strangers. And it was definitely one of those points where I realized like, wow, I could do this, if I really, really set my mind to it. This is something that I could do and, hopefully one day make a living at.
Indeed. The money will come, but just have fun now. So yeah,
Yeah.
whenever that is, I'm like 11 years in. I'm like any day now. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I don't do it for money. I'm like I do it for the love mostly because as soon as money gets involved, it's not as fun anymore. So
Yeah, I hear you on that for sure because I do music primarily for a living. And not that it's not fun, but you kind of, you start to incorporate this brand identity that people know you by, and that's kind of like your shtick, and that's what you do. And then if you stray too far away from that, I feel like people are like, that was interesting. It's like, all right, you gotta stick to what works. I think, and
big
over this past year, I've kind of like separated my two like music. I have two musical brands. I have like my solo career, and then my cover band career. And so in the cover band career, it's very much like, all right, we're going to have fun. We're going to tell jokes. We're going to be goofy as hell. And we're going to play all the songs that you know and love. We're just going to hit you with the hits all the time. And then it's a lot different going onto a stage for my solo original music, like the music that I write myself, because it's all just like deep, like longing and loneliness and heartache. I've got some fun songs, but the majority of my musical material is very sad. And so I kind of had this like weird, like, bipolar between the two brands. Like one is very like energetic and funny and happy, and the other one, I'm just trying to make people like feel something and be inspired through my original music.
most definitely. Got to have that duality there. It's like whenever I dress up as my Wu Tang superhero inspired superhero outfit and do stand up, I'm like, all right, most of my stuff is gonna be music related, comic book related, mostly clean. And then my me as myself, I'm like, I'll start off clean, warm your hearts, and I'm just gonna get dirty. I'm just gonna have fun up there. So yeah, good stuff. And
Yeah.
so, speaking of Bokobar, I forgot that you won first place at the comedy contest in 2017. So
And
that was pretty gnarly.
that was so cool. Were you there that night? I can't remember if you were there.
I think so. It's been a long time. I can't even remember, but yeah.
Yeah, so long I can't remember either, but that was such a fun night. and I was so excited to be chosen as the winner. And that was another one of those like unforgettable experiences where it's like just encourages you to keep going and keep writing and keep pursuing, something that you love.
Big time. And now everything's coming back full circle, and you have your own comedy competition coming up tomorrow. So that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting. I mean, we're very close to being sold out, which, initially I had no idea how this was going to go, and I took a lot of like financial risk putting on the show because of renting the venue and the prize money and sound.
Oh, well, Chelsea will be back after these few messages. Our technical difficulties. Being based out of St. Augustine, I'm pretty sure it's a ghost that's doing all this, but don't take my word for it. Um, but shout out to Eleanor for being in the audience, and there's another person there too. And feel free to jump in. Be nice to us though, and we'll put your comment on the screen there. And so definitely buy tickets to go see Chelsea Sadler's comedy competition at the Waterworks tomorrow. Less than 20 tickets remaining, so buy those tickets. Buy them now. And so, yep, there we go. While you were away, I told everyone to buy more tickets from you so you can sell it out. So.
There's not very many. I think there's like 9 tickets left, and I'm holding, some for the door. I've got about a dozen tickets left for walk ups, just in case anybody whew, wants to walk up. But I really was not expecting this kind of response. I was just hoping to, break even on the cost of it. But I think what we're going to end up doing is adding a couple more placements, a couple more spots that, comedians can win for prize money because people are coming out in such big numbers and it's been such a great response. It's like, why not, give people
Yeah,
more opportunities to place or to win some prize money?
absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll help by going over there tomorrow and buying a ticket. I'll do a walk up and buy a ticket from you tomorrow. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, come
All right.
support you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yep, I'll get there early so I can get a good seat. But if you need photos, let me know and I'll bring my camera and I'll do the best I can. So,
Oh, that would be cool. Dude, if you want to do photos, I'll just let you in. If you want to take
oh,
some photos tonight, we'll just get
sweet.
you in. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be cool.
awesome. That works
Yeah,
for me. I'll see you then
cool.
tomorrow. So yeah,
That'd be
and
awesome.
good stuff. And let's see here. We got uh, some more stuff. You're performing coming up. Some upcoming shows. You're gonna be performing with Mike Hanford at Cafe 11 in January of 2025. So that's a big show.
Yeah, I love Cafe Lab. Have you been there?
I have. I've seen the Sing Out Loud comedy showcase there a couple times, and I've seen some of my pals perform stand up. And shout out to Casey the creative too. He's like, I remember he messaged me one time. He goes like, Srath, I need comics. We're gonna start comedy night. Give me some names that you would recommend and refer to, because I'm like well connected to like all the scenes pretty much. Like whatever you need, I got the clean comics, I got the dirty comics, I got whatever comics you need. I got a huge Rolodex of them. I'll send them. I'll give you all the referrals. So yeah, I've been there a couple times.
Oh, dude, that's cool. I've
Yeah.
I've been there lots of times to see people play music, do comedy. They have a really cool event called Naughty Bingo, where a drag queen comes in and calls the bingo numbers for the night. And this is the first time in January that I'll be performing there as a comic, not as a musician. So that's exciting.
That is pretty awesome. I
Yeah.
love my friend Anna Lepley. She's done the stage, like she opened for Chris Kattan recently over there, and she also did a comedians in drag doing comedy. Produces that show. It's like Canada and here, and I did her Daytona one, and I was in drag doing comedy, and it's on
That's
my Instagram, and I decided to go as a geisha meets a juggalette. So I was like Violet Ney was my name instead of
nice.
Violent J. And so I went full geisha on there.
Dude, I would love to see pictures of that.
Indeed, I'll tag you in the photos. You'll be, oh wow, you went all out as a geisha. So it's pretty.
Let's do it.
Yeah, my buddy, he's a clown. He does clown stuff, and his name's Sir Winston Pickles. I go, how do I get my face like your face, to do this geisha thing? Because here's the makeup that I use and all this other stuff, and so I did the whole thing. I even painted my nails for it. I got me to Target, got me some yellow paint, like nail polish.
You really committed to that bit. That's awesome.
I did. I have no shame. I'm gonna do all my dirty stuff. It's gonna be fun.
Nice. Do you think
But
you'll do and do you think you'll do the whole comedians in drag again?
I'm thinking about it, but I'm like, maybe it's a one-time thing. I was like, because I told Anna that I was going to retire after this, and just let the other two people win. I just want to do this and put it off my bucket list because I promised her I'd do one. So yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I'm a man of my word, so I gotta let her know. So yeah, and so these
Oh,
are
I
the next. Oh,
have you been down to the because you said you live on Palm Coast. Have you been to the Christy B's comedy club?
I
This is like
have.
a newer club, right?
Yep, yep. It used to be the old Madcaps, and so I do the mics every Thursday pretty much, and as much as I won't be there tomorrow, but I'll be at your show tomorrow.
Oh,
Um, and then she had me shoot. Shout out to Christopher for like letting me headline my first time in a club. Yeah.
yeah, awesome.
So
I
yeah.
I actually emailed her through her contact form on her website to see if she would judge the competition. And I never heard back from her. And I'm like, she's probably like so busy and like such a big deal. It's like not gonna happen. But that's fine.
Indeed.
I've
Did
got
you
to
get
make
any?
though for sure and meet her and see the club, because I've heard a lot about it. I've heard good things. And I'm
Oh,
happy there's a comedy club in Palm Coast. Like what a cool idea, you know?
big time, and it's
Yeah.
well deserved. I mean, she put in so much, powers into like trying to build a scene here, and
Yeah.
like she had pop up rooms before, and now she has her own club. It's pretty awesome to see her grow.
Yeah, it is cool. And I asked Jackie Knight also. She unfortunately wasn't available for tomorrow night to judge. She really, really wanted to, but she can't be there tomorrow night. And so maybe if we do it again, we can get Jackie to come be one of our amazing judges on the panel of judges.
Yeah, cool.
And yeah, she retired. How long ago now did she retire?
This past year, I think.
Yeah, it was really a bummer, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
time. I've done her competition at when it was at the Gypsy, and then I did some more time at the Pelican restaurant because like Michelle Keith was doing a competition too again, but she was like, Sareth, I need to count the votes. Will you? And I asked her if I can do time to help her, you know. So there's like nothing like so I can so there's still jokes going on, and
yeah.
so what I did was like everyone that was on the bill knew who I was and they knew all my jokes, and I just took requests. So I'm like, all right, which joke do you want to hear tonight? And then they all shout out, do this one, do that one.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's big time right there. That's like you've made it. If people like know your shit and they're like, do the one about the dead dad. Like that's
Oh man, I did it at Rain Dogs too. It's called Available Upon Request, and like it was just one audience member, and the rest were all comedians standing in the back. And I'm like, all right, let's entertain this one audience member. He's here for us. And it's like past midnight, and I'm like, all right, pick your joke, and I did it, and like it starts getting dirtier and dirtier, and I'm like, this is so fun, and like it was great.
that's awesome. I
Yeah,
love
so
it.
I'll send you that link too. You're gonna be like, wow, everyone knows you. I was like, yeah, they've seen me around.
That's sick, dude. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That's so cool.
Oh, thanks, pal.
Do you
Yep.
go to the hot potato comedy up there, that open mic?
Oh yeah, I did that before the pandemic and sometimes after the pandemic, and it was just I was so involved with like every scene around me because there was nothing in Palm Coast for like the longest time.
Yeah.
So I had no choice but to drive like an hour and do 5 minutes. So I was like, I don't mind it. It teaches me that I can go on tour and take the long roads and be cool with it. So, and
Yeah.
I've done 2 tours already, so it's not bad.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's where I met the up in Jacksonville at Rain Dogs is where I met Joey Nichols. You know that guy?
Yeah, I just interviewed him.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great. He's doing all kinds.
Oh, big time. He has so many rooms. So shout out to Joey Nickel, Chelsea's. We'll be back in a little bit too, and shout out to the 4 people in the audience watching us. from their screens. Feel free to interact in the chat if you like. We'll put your nice comments on the screen. So um, I got to use my journalism integrity to do that. So no curse words, please. But yeah, so like Chelsea said, her show's almost sold out. Get those tickets while you can. So Chelsea will be back here shortly. But yeah, I made sure to plug in your show again so you can sell out more tickets while you're away.
I
So
think we're on. No.
yeah, awesome. So Chelsea, these are the four questions. These are the usual questions I ask everyone. That's on the stand-up speaking. So that way, that being said, what inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
I can't hear you.
Oh, all good. She'll be back after these messages. It's the reason why I do like my live stream interviews is because, well, I'm tired of editing. I've been a journalist for like forever, and uh, I tried doing a podcast, but I'm like, there's just so many of them. I'm like, I don't want to do a podcast. Just do a live stream. Awesome, Chelsea. How are you, pal?
Good. The problem, I just put my phone on do not disturb. The problem is that every time I get a phone call, it like knocks me off the thing. And I don't know why that is. And I never get phone calls ever. But
Oh,
as soon as we start recording, people are like, I need to get a hold of you. I'm like, Lauren, I will call you back.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was blaming the ghosts of St. Augustine for all the blackouts that we've been having.
Oh my gosh, dude. The ghost tours, like I think that's one of my favorite parts about living in St. Augustine because there's they just seem to be like so cheesy, and like the tour guides are like, standing betwixt two like old houses. Like, there was a woman here named Mary, and she fell down the stairs. And I'm like, they should just go ask the bartenders for some cool stories, like slip them $20 and be like, what's the scariest thing that's like happened to you here? Because
Yeah.
they're into it. Like people that I know that bartend downtown St. Augustine and are up, until 4 o'clock in the morning by themselves at the bars have seen some weird shit happen for sure and told me about it. And that's way scarier than any like ghost tour I've ever been on. But it's so funny to see all the people gathered around, and I'm like, this is cool, but like I think you could get a little bit more of a taste for what's actually going on if you talk to some bartenders for sure.
Heck yeah. Even the Tuna Nog Irish pub in Daytona Beach is haunted in three different spots. So
Oh, there's particular spots. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, but like Stogie's is like Stogie's upstairs is supposed to be haunted. So crazy. Yeah. St. Augustine is like, listen, I'm not like a ghosty kind of person, but some weird shit has happened to me that I can't explain, and I'm just like, well, who knows? Who knows what happens or where we go or what people are up to when they die? No idea.
no idea. But it's the spirit world. I'm not gonna mess with them. And that's why I'm like afraid that they'll attach to me because everyone says you have that energy about you, that magnet about you, that secret or whatever. And I'm like, the people are drawn to you, and I'm like, I just wanted to like. Hopefully, it's not a spirit. Indeed,
Yeah.
awesome. And so, what was the feeling like when you first performed stand up? You can talk about the fifth grade thing too if you want to.
That was I don't think I can remember exactly how I was feeling because it was so long ago. I just remember it being a lot of fun. I'm sure that I was excited, but what really made the set was off to the right side of the stage. Someone was kind of behind the curtain, and they would pop out like a poster board that said like ha 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 ha, like giggle giggle, funny stuff like in between each joke, which would make the kids laugh. And I thought I was making them laugh until I realized like there's someone to my right like being way funnier than I am. And I was like, oh, this is actually good. This is good. I appreciate you doing that because people are laughing.
Yeah.
The first time I did stand up, Man, I was terrified. I thought I had a pretty good, grasp of being comfortable on stage because I had performed thousands and thousands of shows musically and learned how to talk to crowds and stay relevant and keep the energy up and keep the attention of the crowd. But man, I got up there and I sucked. I was so bad. I was like, man, this is so different. I think first of all, I was terrified because I didn't have my guitar. So there was nothing like between me and the audience. You're just holding a microphone. And I think, when you play an instrument, it's kind of like a protective shield in a way. You're like, well, I've got this thing. So if my brain fails at any point in time, I'll just start playing a little bit of guitar and just kind of like cover up the brain fart. But when you're up there with just a microphone and you're bombing and you're failing, there's nowhere to go. Like there's nowhere to hide. Like only have your words. It was horrible. I was like mortified after my first time and I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'll never do that again. That was so embarrassing. I'll never do it again. And sure enough, the next week rolled around and I was like, I'm going to try again. I know a little bit more this time. I'm going to try again. And sure enough, week to week to week to week, you get better. And I think you like learn to know yourself more. You learn to know your own sense of humor and what you find funny too. And that's a really cool way to like at least start writing jokes, not necessarily like editing and perfecting all of the pauses and build ups and punchlines, but just to start writing like about topics that you think are like I just recently read a bit about tarot cards because to me that's just something that's always been a little like hilarious, like how are rational adults like basing major life decisions on like a toy essentially. And so that was like the starting point, like okay, I'm going to write a joke about tarot cards. And so like where it started and where it ended up is completely different than the idea that I originally had. But I did think that that was like a good way to at least like start get the juices flowing. And you never really know how a crowd's going to react, so like obviously you get up there, you work out material, you try different things with the same bit, and it can be like miles and miles away from what you originally intended it to be, which is also a really cool process.
Big time. I feel you. And like whenever I bomb, I'm like, those where all the best stories come from, though. And it's like, and then you want to go back. And I want to go. I want redemption so bad from this room. And that's how I
Yeah.
treated room. I'm gonna redeem this bomb, and then I'm never coming back to this room again if I kill. So
Yeah. Well, what was it like when you first did like your first time doing stand up?
I was in Los Angeles at a cafe called Studio Jump Cut Cafe. It was like all movie themed and everything, and it was like an all arts open mic. And the host was like, uh, he goes, I was so scared and nervous my first time that I dressed up as my Wu Tang Clan inspired superhero outfit, and it was like Wu Manchu. It's like, it's a long story. I met like the majority of the Wu Tang Clan and everything like that. So it's a
Hey.
wild story, yeah. And so what I did was I dressed up as head to toe Wu Manchu, and I did 5 minutes, and I was like, some of them, the jokes that I have now are now polished from that earlier set, and I put that set on my YouTube channel. If you want to watch it, it's horrible, but it's funny at the same time. And so the host was like, everyone had like 5 minute sets, and he was like, hey, where did that superhero go? Because I just went to the parking lot, changed into my Rage Against Machine tour shirt that I saw him in LA at the Coliseum, and I came back in, no Wu Tang stuff on. It's like, hey, where did that superhero go? I need him to do 5 more minutes. I'm like, I didn't even have 5 more minutes left of material. So what I told him was, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I'm his manager, and like, and he goes, "So you're pulling an Eddie Kaufman on me, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And so, but I'm not gonna do that 5 minutes because I don't have any more material. This was my first time.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome. So did you say the first set that you did, you recorded and put it on YouTube?
yeah, it's so
Your
bad.
ever? That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, So I'll
And
send you the link too about it too. So it's so bad, but I had to because I'm like I grew so much as a comic from that set, and it's great. So
yeah.
I'll
So
send.
what?
I'll remind myself. Send Chelsea my.
Nice. Yeah.
Go for it,
What
Chelsea. Go for
finding
yeah.
yourself, uh, finding yourself like writing about or like gravitating towards like recently, I guess.
Oh, it's just my material is mostly like my so much of my misadventures and like they're all personal pretty much because like I tried doing topical humor and I'm like anyone can easily jack all these topical jokes like and it's not me, it doesn't come off naturally, like no one can see my heart and soul into this. And so
Yeah.
that's why all my all my misadventures, all my mistakes, all my failures, and I just threw them out there. I'm like, I'm gonna make material out of this. And sure enough, people are just like you know how you banter between you and Lauren on set with the music and comedy. Well, like when I do my song in Daytona Beach, it's a parody of "She Hates Me" by Puddle of Mud. Like all the comics, they just hold up their lighters and they finish my lyrics, and I feel like Axl Rose up there. It's so cool.
I love that.
Yeah. So
I,
that's on my my special too. So like you sometimes you'll just just so much fun seeing them yell out the lyrics, and it's heaven.
that's sick. I love that. I gotta
Yeah,
perform sometime soon.
absolutely. We'll have to share a stage again, like at Boca or in the future. That'd be awesome.
Cool. I would love that. Do a showcase together. I would absolutely love that. When is your next like build show?
It's I have Punk Rock Pizza, but I'm just putting comedians on there for like the
Okay,
next 3 weeks or something.
nice.
And then Sareth Fest at Daytona Beach is happening, and it's
Yeah.
like four like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is stand up comedy. It's free to get in at Punk Rock Pizza and Kieran Irish Pub. They all start at 8 o'clock. And so like you'll see the best comedians from all over Florida. Um, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going on 4 years now. So there's going to be an open mic on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday after each comedy show so people can try out. Because they're like, you know how comedy festivals either, you got to be invited in or you got to send the tape in, you got to pay that submission fee. I'm like, I want to see how you can handle the nog because not a lot of people can handle the nog. And I want to see what you look like in this dive bar in this situation before I put you on. So.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah.
So the
So
open mic after the performance, as you said.
yep, and we'll go on until like 1:30 a.m. Like that's how long they can let us
Oh,
go on. So yeah,
geez, dude. That's no joke.
no way. And that's what happened like 2 weeks ago. Like so many comics from Jacksonville, Orlando, and everything showed up. Even the villagers showed up at the mic, uh,
Oh,
and we didn't get out there till like 2 a.m. on the dot, and that's when the bar closes.
yeah.
It was nuts. But everyone gets their own walk-up music, which is lovely because, like, you got to get pumped up to get on stage and get, your energy going. And so everyone picks different songs, and it's so cool to see, like, Ted Nugent getting played after a Tribe Called Quest, and it's like so cool. It's like random
Oh,
songs.
yeah. It's always cool with walk up songs. It really keeps the energy up, I think. And yeah, I think for the show tomorrow, some people have got like Kendrick Lamar or like ABBA. It's like very like kind of all over the board. But it's gonna be definitely gonna be cool to do the walk up songs.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's
Yeah.
You'll see so many different styles because of the songs. It sets the mood for everyone's stand up. So
Yeah.
speaking of walk up songs, what's your walk up song?
What's my walk up song?
Mhm.
I really like going out to the theme song from The Office.
Oh, that's nice.
Just like a nice, like very recognizable, tune that people love.
Yeah.
But if I'm feeling frisky, then I'll do something a little more like Joan Jett or something classic. What about you?
Oh,
What's
when I'm doing my dirty set, I'm doing Salt and Peppers. Let's talk about sex. And just get
nice?
them in the mood right away.
Nice.
Yeah. But like when I'm doing my because we start off like when we're in Daytona, like we used to open up to DX's intro from WWE, WWF,
No
and they would
way.
do the whole shtick with the crotch things and everything. And then now that we have a new host that does it, and he walks up to Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme music, and then
Nice.
lately, like, because like the NWO was born out of Daytona Beach at the Ocean Center, I close it out with the NWO theme, and so yeah,
That's,
that's our themes. Yeah.
man, that like just classic, like NWO, Triple X. Oh man, X
Yeah.
Pac, China, Undertaker, Kane. That was like prime time.
Oh yeah.
W Man, there's nothing like it.
No way. The Attitude Era, fantastic.
Yeah, man, that was some good television. I do have to say.
I think so too. It was just
Yeah,
wild. I
yeah,
was like bouncing between all the promotions. Like, I fell in love with like WWF raised me, and then changed to WWE, and then like and then ECW came and surprised me out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, I love Sabu, and then like WCW came in, and then AEW came in, TNA came in, so many things. ROH came in, so I'm just a huge wrestling fan.
nice.
Yeah. And one of the comedians, Roger Staten, had a wrestling show, like an independent one at a high school gym in Callahan, and like he was a ref because he was like not wrestling that night, so he was just refing it. And I just made a sign that said "Ref Roger rocks," and I made it into like ref stripes. And he goes, "I can't believe you held a sign up and made one for me," and I was just refereeing. So it's so cool.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's cool.
Yeah, and so I love wrestling. Um, what are your favorite comedy specials and comedy record albums and comedy podcasts?
Comedy podcast. Well, I really love that podcast. This is just what I'm into lately is the Ian Fidance, Jordan Jensen podcast out of New York City. They're just like terribly mean to each other most of the time, and I just really love that about them and feed off of that. Um, Comedy specials, gosh, like it's hard to say what my favorite one is because you have them, you've got them leaning more political, like, Nanette or like Cameron Esposito. And then you just got the completely like more off the rails stuff. Like I love female comics just because I'm so inspired by female comics. So Eliza comes to mind, definitely. I was able to see Michelle Wolf live in Tampa. That was really cool. Love her special. So I think that I gravitate more towards like the female comedians, but love like Nate Bargatze. His whole shtick is really funny and just very. I love that dry humor, that dry sense of humor that he has about him. He's just like I don't know, like just the guy who mows the lawn is my wife, and that's how it is. I just love that very like sardonic like way he has about him. I guess it's a great like character that he's developed for sure. But those would be like some of my top ones for sure, like Karen Esposito, uh, Hannah, Eliza, Michelle Wolf. What about you?
Oh, I love me some like Fluffy, Joe
Oh
Coy. Joe Coy did this little cool video for me like at the Florida Theater. It was like, and it got me into so many festivals because of it. I'm like, you were too kind, and I'll send you that video too. I'm like, you, because I told him how much he meant to Asian comics because there's not a lot of us out there. So
yeah,
and he just set my comedy journey on fire, and I'm like, this is so neat. And so
that's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, but that's the same thing kind of when you see someone who like looks like you and is like a representation of you. God, you can't help but be inspired by what they're doing.
big
I love
time. He's
I
selling
love
out
that.
arenas all over the world. It's nuts.
Yeah. That's insane, man.
It
Yeah,
is.
Fluffy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Nate Bargatze because he's so cool, calm, and collected. Like on Tears of a Clown, his album is just like it's so relaxing to hear him talk. It's like
It
no one,
is.
he's not yelling through a mic or nothing, and he's just chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Maria
That's
Bam. That'd be another one. I really
oh
like
yeah.
her. She does a lot of like voices and things like that. I get down with that. for
Heck
sure.
yeah. She's so awesome. Her specials are amazing. They're just wild. I think she did one in her house, and I'm like, this is so rad. So
She's definitely done a lot of like Instagram like shorts in her house. So,
indeed.
yeah,
She's coming to Jacksonville, I think, coming up here soon.
January. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, should be.
indeed. Yeah. Some of those folks have been on TV and film, and so whatever your favorite sitcom sketches and comedy films.
Well, I love The Office. Again, that like dry humor. You know, The Office, like Parks and Rec, kind of just very monotone way of delivery, and a lot of like unexpected characters. I think just like the ridiculousness of certain characters is really appealing to like my sense of humor. So yeah, The Office, Parks and Rec, sitcoms, television shows. Man, lately I've been watching this show called Louder Milk on Netflix. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's about like a recovery, like a 12-step recovery group, and it's just nonsense and a bunch of like crazy shenanigans that happen to this guy. But he's like such a mystic but also realistic asshole that it's like I wish I had the balls to be as forthright and terribly honest as this dude. You know, I've never met anyone like that in my own life who's just like very blatantly like an asshole. But not I guess not an asshole. I guess more so just like speaking with no filter, like everything that he's thinking like comes out of his mouth when he's talking to people about themselves. I've never met anyone fucking like that. And if you ever do, let me know because I want to fucking meet them.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, but that show's been cool. I've been watching Ted Lasso with my partner on Apple TV. That's a fun show. Um, I don't watch like too much TV. I tend to like listen to more stuff than watch. But yeah, that would be like my pick lately. Ted Lasso for sure.
Awesome. And comedy films and sketch shows, I think. Yep, comedy films.
Comedy films. I mean, classic like Sideways, Step Brothers. Like just feel like just like very generic, like comedic stuff is what I'm into for sure.
Heck yeah, good stuff. And if you can go on tour with any comedian locally and internationally known, which comedians would you have to go on tour with?
Mm. Well, I would definitely love to go on tour with you. That'd be great. I think we'd have a good time. I think we could bring Jen along, Jen O'Laughlin. That would be sick. And we could all open for Jordan Jensen. That'd be cool because she's
Heck yeah,
and also super mean, and I love that about her.
indeed. Good stuff. And if you can get roasted by five comedians, top five dead or alive, which comedians would you have to get roasted by?
Oh man, Richard Pryor for sure. I would say Richard Pryor, Ricky Gervais. I'd do Michelle Wolf for sure. Ian Fidance because he's a goddamn maniac. Um, and then one more, maybe Nate. We throw Nate in there.
Heck yeah.
I like his story.
Awesome. I do too. He's
Yeah.
fantastic. Great picks. And if you can, where do you see your comedy during the next 5 years?
I think just hoping to open for more, nationally touring comics, regionally touring comics, and just to get my foot more in the door with like the locals. I think going down to Palm Coast and just getting like more of a handle on the scene, not just in St. Augustine, and getting to know like more of the major players and seeing how things kind of shake out, and just doing a lot of showcases. Putting together shows, getting on showcase shows, be really cool.
Big time. Yep. And if you ever need me to, I'll help introduce you to the you know, all those cool comics out there. So I have quite the network for you. So
Yeah, you network like a motherfucker, that's for sure.
yeah,
You're
I'll help break the ice for you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd
So
be awesome. It's hard to, play music so much, and that really like takes out a lot of your like creative drive, So to do music all week, like Thursday through Sunday, usually we play. And then a lot of the open mics are like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So by the time Monday rolls around, I'm like, oh man, do I want to go to Rain Dogs? I don't know if I can do it. It's a lot to like be out every single night. And as soon as you show up as a musician to a restaurant or a bar, it's probably one of the only professions where people are like, here, have a drink, and you're like, oh, no, 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 and they're like, no, please have a drink. And it's like, God, if I keep this up, I'm gonna be drinking like 7 days a week. You know what I mean? I gotta really like hone in and figure out like what's manageable, because I'm almost 40 now, so it's gonna be a long road from here on out.
indeed. Yeah, it's Shantytown's a pretty cool room too. It's like small and perfect for on a Monday night, and so
Yeah,
I
I
think
played
you'll.
before, but I've never done comedy there. But I've heard a lot of good things about their open mic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And yeah, Jacksonville's starting to blossom with so many comedy shows and mics now. It's like finally, it's like so many more options. So
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like St. Augustine's going to get there too.
I
It's
hope
going to
so.
follow suit and get there too. But it's hard in St. Augustine. It's hard even for like a musical open mic to make it, you know. So, but we're trying. We're trying to get it together here, Sareth. Just be patient with us. We're doing our best.
For sure. And hopefully all the cities will have them all, and so we can do a Florida loop just like the musicians have done in the past. So
Yeah, that'd be
yeah, big time. And so what's your favorite joke a comic has written?
Oh, my favorite joke is actually by Ryan from Starbuzz. He was doing an open mic at Boca one time, and just cold open. He walked up there and he goes, "All right, has anyone ever thought about killing themselves? Because here's the thing: if you say no, then like you're a liar." And the whole place just erupted with laughter. And I'm like, that is the most honest, genius, cold open I've ever seen from an open mic stand up comedian. Like, I just can, it was sick. It took a lot of guts to do that. That was cool.
Big time. And we don't recommend unaliving yourselves on the live stream, but it was in context of the joke. But I know it's like Unalive Prevention Month this month, and I tried to walk up to Gravedigger's song about unaliving yourself last week, and like if you need help, Strath, here's a number to call on. When I tried to put enter right afterwards, like you need to if you need help, reach out, and I'm like okay, but it's just a song. It was on Demon Night, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
well, I guess I can't do that then. So
Well,
it
for
happens.
anyone are listening, AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. You can always go on their website and donate, and it is time to get involved and reach out to people that you think might be struggling or having a hard time, and tell them some jokes. They'll love it.
Indeed, I'll be sure to put that in the description box below too, so you can just click and donate.
Cool.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
good stuff. And let's see here. What experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
I think just, that feeling of like being connected. I think if you can get an audience member to relate to your material, that's going to be like the most important thing to help it stick in their mind and help them remember it.
Awesome. And so,
Yeah.
Chelsea, this is the Stand Up Speakeasy. It's a secret society of stand up comics. And so, with that being said, which comics out of St. Augustine would you like to see on a future episode of the Stand Up Speakeasy?
I would love to see Jen on here. That'd be great. Jen O'Laughlin. I don't know if you had Courtney on here yet.
I'm not sure. I don't think I have yet, but I've done regular interviews with her before.
Yeah, Courtney would be awesome. Jen O'Laughlin, Lauren Gilliam, be great. because she's pretty new to stand up comedy. I mean, I know she's done it a couple times, but I think she's, taking it a little more seriously lately. So,
For sure. I'll definitely reach out to them. And so, any future shows you have besides the one tomorrow and at Cafe 11 coming up?
so far just Cafe 11 in January, and you can buy those tickets at the original cafe11.com. And then tomorrow's show, the comedy competition, I'll be hosting at the Waterworks, and you can buy tickets at chelseasadler.com.
Awesome. And also donate and buy tickets and all that stuff below, and for ASP as well. And so I'll put that as soon as we go off live and all that good stuff. And
Cool.
let's see. But yeah, any final words you'd like to give out to the audience at home?
Just like, hey, Dylan, that's my stepson.
Oh,
You're
cool.
not doing this because you're supposed to be doing your homework. No, I'm just kidding. Um, no, it was just really a pleasure to talk to you and to reconnect. I know it's been a number of years since I've been able to see your face, and it's really nice to just talk to you and chat and connect. And I really appreciate you having me on. So, and thank you for being so involved in comedy and helping to breathe a lot of life into it because we need that. It's important.
Most definitely. As for me, I have I'll do my very best to help elevate all of us, because like, high tides raise all ships kind of thing. From here to Melbourne to I stopped past Melbourne though, because like I do Central Florida and Northeast Florida, and I'm good to go. I think so.
Yeah, yeah,
That's quite a
for,
net. So
yeah. It's a big, big net.
yeah, awesome. So but yeah, thank you for tuning in to the Stand Up Speakeasy. I know my video side is dark because there's an overcast out, and it is what it is. I have a ring light here, but it's like Sammy Sosa. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. The new Sammy Sosa. Awesome. So thank you, Eleanor, for joining us and interacting in the chat, and for everyone watching at home. Buy tickets to Waterworks Chelsea's show tomorrow. Let's sell that place out, and enjoy some comedy. Awesome. Thank you so much, Chelsea. See you at the next show. See you at Sreth Fest too. And all the